Hello again, it's April here, and today I have a pastel extravaganza. Back in April, I decided I wanted to try and do an entire month just using pastels, soft pastels, pan pastels, and even some pastel pencils. I wasn't able to do a focused, concentrated stint just with pastels, so I kind of dipped in and out over a couple of months. And I wanted this video to kind of feel just like a low pressure art journaling video, just playing and experimenting, swatching, and just seeing what happens. Let's get on with the pastels. So I decided to start at the beginning and swatch out all of my pastels to see what I was working with. I somehow have managed to collect a whole bunch of pastel pencils, even though I don't like using them. When I'm in an art shop, sometimes I just can't resist the shiny objects. And then came the neon pastels, which are kind of a recent purchase. I bought them a while ago. I used them a lot in my neon video, if you saw that, and I am still obsessed. And then quickly going through the soft pastels and the pan pastels. So I am busting through the swatching phase a little quickly, but don't worry, we're going to look at all of these materials in a bit more detail. And I do have a really nice set of colours when you see them all on the page there. And then I just spray it quickly with some Sea White or Brighton fixative. I do talk about a couple of different fixatives throughout the video. This one seemed to do the job for this page, so let's move on. So I've just been at my desk here for like 40 minutes or so. I thought I would say hi before I got too far into it, because I don't want this video to be all voiceover. I find voiceover very difficult. So basically I've just been trying to use my pastels. It's not perfect, guys, but I'm just learning. I've got pastels on my fingers, it's everywhere, it's so messy. Smudges all over the place. I took this sketchbook out with me yesterday. I've got all these pages in here. But I took this out. This is the Odd Orange sketchbook, and I think I made a mistake by starting it because this was going to be my pastel sketchbook, and I'm thinking maybe I just need to change it because I think this paper's fine, but I don't know if it's going to be okay paper for like I want to use it with a lot of mixed media, and it's the sketchbook version with the thinner paper. You can kind of hear it. I guess kind of crinkly when it's wet, but the paper itself is fine for sketching on, like this. But as soon as it's wet, it kind of goes like a bit crinkly, and I use it like I use quite a lot of water, so that's probably why. But I might switch out from this sketchbook to the other one I have, which is A4 as well, so it'll give me more space to work with. So all I've done so far is I've got all of my pastels out. So I have soft pastels, pastel pencils, and pan pastels, which are on the shelf behind me. And the first thing I did is like literally just swatch them all out. So these are all of them. And then we went out yesterday for a walk, and I did some backgrounds here, so you can kind of see it poking through the sky there. And I did all of that in pastel with water, which is why these pages are a bit crinkly. And then I used mixed media on top. This one I just did now. It's a bit of a mess. I used the black shavings from the cast woodless pencils. I had some shavings after I sharpened it and I didn't want to waste it, so I put it in as black. Black is a very like harsh colour for an under painting, and I just tried to put some pastel on top. It's a bit of a mess. We'll skip past that one quickly. This is another one where I use the pastel in the background with water. Gives a really nice effect, I think. And this one here as well. And then this one, I didn't use any water, I just smudged it in, and then I used fixative. So if I rub it here, it doesn't really come off. It's quite good, actually. And then apart from that, all I've done is these circles here. This is in the Pith sketchbook. The paper is it feels a little bit toothier than the other paper I was using. And it's very messy. It's just the raw pastel right now without fixative. And I'm using a whole bunch of these pastels. Some of these pastels, like this one here, is handmade. This one is, I mean, are all pastels handmade? I'm not sure, but this one was made in Cumbria, just down the road. Some of them, like, let me see if I can find it. I think this dark green one, and all the ones that are like very round. So this dark green one, maybe this purple one, maybe this one here. I think these are all Jackson's pastels. And then most of them are unison, so the ones that are I can kind of tell when I start drawing with them because they're creamier. This one here, they're unison. And then I have one Sennelier pastel randomly. That was a present. So what I wanted to do, I noticed when I was playing with them the other day on stream, that some of these pastel pencils go over the pastels in different ways. So I'm basically just doing like a little testing sheet, and I might use it for pencil as well. So the different types of pastel pencils I have are the Derwent pastel pencils, which I think these are the best that I have. The Caran d'Ache pastel pencils. And then I have just a couple of these Stabilo, which I have no idea where these are from. I think maybe I got them in South Africa. So I thought I could just test going over. I'm not sure. I might just do lines and stuff. I might do faces. I don't know yet. I also can't remember what any of the colours are. So it's really a bad test because I can't remember what I put down, but it's fine. I think it's one of those things that you just learn as you go. So like that was the Derwent pastel pencil. This one's the Stabilo, and I have noticed these ones are a lot more difficult, although look, saying that one went over really well. So I don't know, maybe I think also it has to do with the pastel and also how much it's been rubbed in for. So let's try like a lighter one, and we'll go over the dark here. Let's try pink. See, so that works fine. But this one here I think is the worst one, the Stabilo one. It doesn't really go, it just kind of smushes into it. If I try it on a lighter one, you can kind of see it there. But yeah, this one here on top of this yellow, maybe it's to do with the pigment, like if it's light or if it's dark, because that one goes over fine. So I think I'm just gonna have to like use these as I go, and I'll get used to them. I don't think a test like this is really gonna work. Another thing I can test are the pencils. So right now I have the Luminance pencils, and we'll just try like a really light color for the cheeks for some reason. And I think it's gonna be the same kind of idea, just like testing stuff to see what works. Let's try the cast pencils. I have noticed these cast pencils are actually really nice. Let's try a really light color like this kind of beigey color. I have noticed these actually go over everything pretty well. Yeah, these are nice. I've got so many pencils. I'm not going to try them all because I won't remember anything, but like these are the Derwent Light Fast, and they're nice. I think honestly sometimes I just have a lot of trouble, and I think it's like my fault. Sometimes I do these tests and I think it's gonna be like really conclusive that one thing is good and one thing is bad, but I just think it depends on the circumstance. So this is a light blue Cretacolor. I think this is kind of like a student grade, and it doesn't really go over very well, maybe because this is so dark. But if we try maybe the Derwent Light Fast, which worked really well up here, it's kind of the same. So I think maybe it's to do with the pigment color. Also probably the amount of pigment we've got on there. What's this one? This is just like a random Faber-Castell. And then this one is a Polychromos. I'm drawing so weird because I'm trying not to smudge it in. Anyway, so I'm going to continue just kind of like playing with it, and I'm going to do some more experiments. I really want to try and do some experiments with acrylic paint and also with ink. So I'll pop back in a minute and we'll have a look at that. So I've got another very messy page here. I was going to rub it all in with my fingers, and then I was going to try and use this. I don't know if this is going to activate it at all, but I figured I'd try and use it and maybe see what it's like drawing with pastel pencils over the top of it. I don't know if it's going to work. But that's why I'm experimenting. So let's start the rubbing. So I'm just rubbing it in with my fingers. I don't know if there's another option, like a better way to do it, because this does get a little bit messy. But I've got this like little tissue that I'm just kind of like rubbing every now and then off. And I think the fingers, I mean, I personally love using my fingers to rub stuff in. I think it's just fun. It feels like more tactile, but I don't know if you guys use pastels like this. Am I doing this right? Is there like a special rubbing in tool that I should use? I think this is fine. I'm also getting heaps of pastel here, but that's fine because we're gonna draw on that in a second. There's still a lot on there like that will transfer off. So now I'm just gonna see if this matte works, and I've got a feeling it's gonna, maybe this isn't the right, yes, okay. Let's put that back. So I have no idea how long I've had this for, and I don't know if that's good anymore. But that is matte, regular gel matte. I've got so much of these mediums that I have no idea what they do. I have this acrylic matte medium, but I actually had to re-watch my video for the Neo Arts. Just find out what I used. It was this clear gesso. So this is what we're gonna use. Okay, here we go. Paintbrush at the ready. I predict it's just gonna smear it all together. If it does, it does. We'll use it. It's fine. Here we go. Alright, so I can see it smearing. I don't know if this is gonna, I don't know what this is gonna be like. This is, okay, we are on a journey together. We're gonna just see what this is gonna be like. I think maybe it's gonna be okay. Like, it's just gonna get a little bit smudgy, but still usable. You know what, I'm gonna do one page. One page for this gesso. I don't know if I'm using too much. I probably am. Okay, it's gonna be, I think what it's gonna do, it's gonna dry. It is clear gesso, but I think maybe because you've smudged it in, it may dry with like a little orange browny tint. When I used this before, it was really thick, and it did dry quite thick, and it was hard to draw on top of. So I'm gonna try and thin it out a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. So that's clear gesso. Let's try this one, matte medium. This is liquidy. Hopefully this is gonna work. I haven't opened this for a while either. Ooh, hello. Oh, too much. This may smear even more. Yeah, look at that. It's like activating it underneath. All right, let's just work fast and try not to mix too much. I mean, I think this would be fine if you're using like one color rather than multi-colors. It's a little kind of grey. I'm going to try and get the excess off. I mean, it has mixed it in, but you can still see underneath. Alright, we're going to see how this dries. Alright, let's pop that on the floor, which is my professional drying area, and we'll see what this is like later. And this is how the pages dried. The one on the right dried really streaky. The one on the left dried pretty nicely and had a nice texture. And I do end up drawing over this page. I'm just going to include a few clips here because it was literally just in my last video. So if you want to see the full process, you can check that. But I just used a little bit of paint, some colored pencils, Neo colors, you know how it goes. And I ended up making this really cute little tiger page. But now what I want to do is I want to see if I can mix together the acrylic inks with, well, not just acrylic inks. I've got acrylic inks. This is acrylic ink. This is liquid watercolor. This is liquid watercolor. And then the golden paints, I think are technically paints, but they're like very liquidy. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use blues and greens and yellows. And I thought I was going to make trees to start with, but I think I might just use this page as a background to kind of see how it works and how they dry. And then on the next page, maybe I'll be a little bit nicer and we'll do like trees. I just really feel like drawing trees for some reason. Maybe because spring's in the air. So last year in January, I think it was January last year, I got super into inks. especially these acrylic inks from Holbein. And I love this colour. This is like one of my favourite colours. I probably should have done the pastel first. I have no plan. I'm just literally gonna mix the ink in with the pastel. That is as far as my plan goes. And my hypothesis, because as you know, I am a scientist. My hypothesis is this is gonna act like water. It's gonna liquefy the ink and add some of the pigment to the ink. It also could, the ink could be overpowering and wash out the pastel. Only time will tell. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done the ink just on its own. So we can actually see the colour of the ink. There's this with, let's use a really dark colour. The Sennelier. Oh yeah. Okay, no, that's nice, right? Compare this with Sennelier mixed just with water. And then let's compare that to the Sennelier. How many times can I say Sennelier? Mixed with, this is going to be a new one, but I really want to try it. The fluorescent golden, it's like fluid paint. Oh, I like it a lot. That's really, really cool. I wonder how this is going to dry mainly, and also how well it's going to be to draw over. I think it's going to draw over quite nicely because when I was at the weekend, when I was doing all of those mixed media pieces, sorry, I'm just searching for the white here. When I was doing all those mixed media pieces, if the pastel had been liquefied quite nicely, it was nice to draw with. All right, let's do a little bit of this green here and a little bit of this fluorescent up here. And we're gonna mix it in with the white. This is like such a relaxing, fun thing to do, is just mix things together. Only problem is, it's really fun to mix it like this, like to kind of figure out how they work together. But then sometimes when you try and transfer that into like an actual drawing, it doesn't work very well, because then you're bringing in like subject and composition and tone and perspective, and when you have all of that stuff mixed together, like it's kind of hard sometimes, like you can't, it's not just pure experimentation, so it gets a little bit more tricky. All right, let's try this lovely juniper green. Let's try it with I'm just laughing because I'm always want to try it with the fluorescent. Let's try it with the fluorescent and also one of these darker colors down here. Ooh. Okay, that's nice. It is ink, so you have to work fast. I think next time, and when I say next time I mean immediately now, I'm gonna pop the pastel on first. Okay, so I think this is a Jackson's pastel because it's quite hard compared to this one, which is a Unison, which is very soft. And I think I even have a dark, I think this is also Unison here. Alright, so we're gonna drop, I'm gonna get my paintbrush at the ready, so I can just do like a drop and run here. I don't think you need too much of this because it's very, very pigmented. So I'm just gonna drop quickly, go, 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 go. Okay, that's nice. I feel like this is just a very overpowering, this colour. It's not very subtle. Let me grab another colour, maybe a lighter yellow. This one here, Radiant Lemon Yellow. Gotta give them a good shake because I haven't used these for so long and the pigment goes to the bottom there. So I might have to shake this for a couple of hours. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna get my paintbrush ready. So literally the same colours, just one drop of ink. There is water on there as well. Let's put a little bit more up here. Wow, the difference it makes. That's crazy. That's really cool. There's some really lovely effects, I think, like that. Liquid watercolour does work really well. It's just extremely pigmented, so a little goes a long way. This one is the FW. Actually, while we're on liquid watercolour, let's try the Ecoline. So these are the Ecolines that fill up the brush pens, and they're going to be a lot, they're not going to be as vibrant as these liquid watercolours. They're a lot softer. Let's try it with this blue as well. And maybe a darker blue. Cool. And I've got lots of the pastel dust here, which I think is just going to mix in with this ink. Right, first. Yeah, see how thin that is compared to the other one? Like, it just is very, very subtle. But it does make a lovely colour. Look at that, that's so nice. So one thing I was thinking about using all of this stuff is not just the texture, it's also the, what am I trying to say? It would make a really lovely texture, but it also gets rid of all that horrible dust, which I think might put me off using this if I can't find a good solution. I think you can get these little hoovers. I'm not too sure about the hoovers, if I'm honest. I work quite fast, and just having to think about like cleaning every couple of minutes to lift up the dust, would be really annoying for me. I guess you could just have it on your desktop. That's why they're called the desktop hoovers. I might look into it. Artie sent me a link, and I know that you can get some other ones, maybe some even little cute ones that are like little ladybugs and stuff. I was also watching a YouTube video though, and they were saying that the hoover that you need to pick needs to have an EVP or something, a HEPA filter. I can't remember what it was, but I needed like a filter to make sure that it got all of the dust and that it was safe to use. Right, so I'm just trying this green gold. So this green gold, I just want to show you the comparison. So this is it's a very similar colour, but I think the Holbein is a little yellower. So that's like quite on the green side. This one is a bit more on the yellow side. I like them both. They're both really nice. I think they're overpowering the pastel right now though. What haven't we used? We haven't used any of these dark colours. So I've got a sepia and a shadow green. Let's try the shadow green. I want to try it with a fluorescent yellow and a white to see if we can like lighten it, and maybe like a blue to see if we can make it like turquoisey. Alright, I think this blue is very dark. Oops. It's kind of on the greenish side. This is what it looks like. Wait, did I just say a green colour was on the greenish side? It's very dark. Look how dark that is. I'm not going to drop it. I'm just going to pick it up from here and use it on the fluorescent straight away. That's nice. Add a bit of water. It should mellow out. Nice. And then drop it onto a paintbrush. This is with the white. Ooh. Okay, that's cool. It's very it's dulling it a lot. That's what I was wondering, you know, another experiment I want to try is I want to mix in acrylic paint with pastel to see if you can make it more matte. I thought that would be a fun experiment. Anything, adding this fluorescent yellow to anything will improve. Will improve it. Alright, that's cool. So there's so many different combinations and like different things you could do. Could be here all day doing this. Fluorescent green up here. A little bit different than the fluorescent yellow. Let's mix that in with, I think, one of the Ecolines. Or you know what, we haven't tried FW yet. So these are also another acrylic ink, similar to the Holbein, but they're not as pigmented, I don't think. So the FW are like student grade, so they won't be as pigmented as the Holbein, but we'll just see how they work. So it's kind of like an ochre colour. It's called yellow ochre. Yeah, it works quite nicely actually, because it's not as pigmented. I think sometimes the ones that are really vibrant like this, it's like, why are you even using pastels with it? Because you're not going to see a difference. And lastly, I haven't tried this turquoise blue. Yeah, I think I'm going to do, let's see, turquoise blue. Let's just do it with a white. Let's do it with a white pastel. And then I'm also interested to see if we put white ink next to it, and then if we do like a drop, I just want to see what the white pastel is like in comparison to the ink. Oops. Okay, so this is just with the pastel. Seeing if it lightens it at all. Right, and then this is with the white ink. Okay, the white ink is much nicer to, it's very liquidy, but I wonder how matte, if this would dry really matte. Oops, almost spilled that entire bottle over. Another thing I think you can do is get the pastel and like use it with the wet already, like mix it in maybe. I'm just gonna wreck the paper. Just make sure all these lids are on. I don't want to spill anything. See how this dries, and the other one on the floor and I'll put back later and draw over the top of them. It's voiceover April again from the future. I actually had this page in my sketchbook for about 6 weeks before I drew over it again, and it's really funny because when I came to edit this video I was putting off finishing this video because I kept remembering I had this page to do. So in the week I went upstairs to do this page and I thought I just need to get this one page done and then I can finish the video. I opened the sketchbook and I couldn't find the page anywhere. And then I realized I had already finished it, and you'll see it at the end. It kind of completely changes, like you can't really see the swatches anymore. So I panicked. I thought, why did I finish the entire page without filming anything, without doing anything? Now I'm just gonna have to like say in the video, oh, I just did this off camera. But thankfully I found all this footage on my hard drive, and I'm telling you guys, I have no idea what happened, but I have no recollection of drawing this page. I'm looking at the footage now and I vaguely remember kind of maybe doing a little bit, but I literally cannot remember. I don't remember filming it. I don't remember saving it. Thankfully I saved it off my hard drive, but it was a surprise. So basically I'm watching it as you're watching it for the first time, kind of. Why does our mind do this? Am I getting old? Do I just draw too much? I can't remember like everything I've drawn, but I do remember that these were some pictures from the Lake District, which is one of my biggest inspirations from one of our walks that we did. I'm going to try and find the photos so I can pop them on screen here. But I love this page. I love how it turned out. It was kind of chaotic. The pastels worked really well as as a background. All the materials went on really well, I think because they were all mixed with like water, and I think that was actually a really nice matte kind of chill material to work on. But not much to say really about this picture apart from I just shoved a whole bunch of materials at the page, layered on as much as I could, and this is finished. I think it's pretty cute. I think this is the first time in the video I'm using pan pastels apart from the swatching. And I really love pan pastels. I think I like them a lot more than soft pastels. You don't get like the messiness of them, and they give us such a lovely texture, and they're a dream to draw over with colored pencil. I really want to use pan pastels more, and there will be a part 2 of this video. So this is just going to be like soft pastels part 1, but part 2 is just going to be focused on pan pastels, I think. Maybe a little bit of soft pastels as well, but mostly pan pastels. It was my birthday in June. As you guys know, I went a little bit crazy with the money. I may have bought a couple more pan pastels to share with you. So there will be a little pan pastel haul in that video as well. But for these sketches, I chose quite a limited color palette. A blue, a kind of tan, a pink, a grey. I really love using this palette. It's one that I use quite a lot when I'm doing odd orange if I want to use the pan pastels. Normally I also chuck an orange in there, but I wasn't feeling it this day, I guess. And then I paired that with kind of similar colors in pencils. So you see like a pan pastel blue, and then there's like a darker blue, but in the kind of same color range pencil. I did that with the red pencil and also the ochre pencil. And then I had kind of like a pink to kind of match the pink pastel. And I really love doing that, kind of matching the colors of the kind of background material with the foreground material. So they kind of complement each other, but you can still see a lot of the detail. And that works in other types of material too. You can do it in gouache, you can do it in ink. But I think with the pan pastels, it really works because the pastel is so soft and the texture is so soft. I can't think of another word for soft. But then you come in with the pencil, which is really hard and like scratchy and thin. And it's the contrast between like the really lovely fuzzy texture of the pan pastels and then that hard texture of the pencil. I think it works so nicely together. The one thing I do want to try and learn a little bit more with pan pastels is making sure I'm like can clean the brushes or the tools before I move on, because I do enjoy a good smudging and a good mixing, kind of like what I'm doing here. But when you just want the pure color and you still have a little bit of another color on, it's kind of annoying sometimes. It muddies it up a little bit. So that's one thing that I want to look into. But if you are here for the pan pastels and you love them, leave a heart emoji in the comments, I guess, and tell me why you love pan pastels. I just thought I would pop in and say hi, instead of just my disembodied hands, disembodied voice, my dismembered hands. I wanted to show you some of this work I've been getting up to. That's kind of in other videos, but is part of this pastel video. So I want to show you like the art I've done this week so far. We did this walk and I did some plein air sketching. And then also we did odd orange, which I think I probably filmed. They're a very messy medium and I'm a very messy girl. So putting the two of us together, a bit of a disaster, but also it's really fun. And then last night I did a live stream and we did lions and tigers, and I tried to use it was like a combination of my pan pastels and my soft pastels. So I did a few fun little drawings. One is this one here, the lion. I did it over paint and ink. So on the face here, like some of the pastel didn't like go on the ink. It kind of repelled it. I also did this tiger in my stream last night. I love this guy. He's called Gus, and we made a little story about him and it was really fun. I think this one's my favorite page. It's the neon tigers. So I basically had all of this neon and then went over the top with the green pastel and left like the tiger as negative space. I think it's so fun. I really like that one. I did fixative them all with this fixative here. This isn't the best fixative. So if like you can see it on my fingers now, but if I was to rub, like, okay, we'll just do this live on. We'll do this live on camera. If I rub here quite hard, it like comes off a lot. And I did spray that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go downstairs now because my Sennelier pastel fixative is downstairs. And I'm going to spray it with that and we'll do another test when it's dry. Because I think that the Sennelier pastel fixative is a lot better. This one is kind of like for everything, but that one is specifically for pastels. It's downstairs because I like to use it outside because it's like really stinky. This one I can use in this room and it doesn't matter. It kind of dissipates after a couple of minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. Pastel, 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 pastel. We're back with the pan pastels. This is the second kind of fully just pan pastel sketch I tried to do. I really didn't work on this video as much as I wanted to. When I did like soft pastel month, it was going to be this huge thing, but I don't know why I always pick to do these things when I'm really busy. So next time I'm going to have to make sure I have a lot of free time so I can really focus. But watching this back and also knowing what it looks like in my sketchbook because I've seen it. I've done it. I remember this one. The thing about this one that I didn't enjoy so much is the softness of it, which I know kind of contradicts the last one I was talking about where I said how much I loved how soft pan pastels were. But I think for me, I need to have a really good contrast between something soft and something hard, something strong and something weak. You know, just like peanut butter and jelly, guys. I need to have that really nice mix. And I used the graphite pen to do kind of like all of the hard lines. And that was really nice and a really strong contrast. But because it's water soluble, also kind of smushed into the pan pastels because I was dipping it into water. And overall, I just think the colors aren't saturated enough for me in this. It's just too dreamy and too soft. So that's something I'm looking forward to kind of figuring out, how to use pan pastels in my work, how to kind of get the most out of them. Because when I'm looking at some of the other images in here, especially the neon tigers that you'll see in a little bit, like they really pop off the page, whereas this one kind of fades into the background. So that's just something to work on. I can't remember, I haven't worked on my pastels for a while. This is meant to be 1 month of pastels, but so far it's turned into 4 days sporadically over a 3-week period. But I'm just going to run you through some pastels and we're going to do a smudge test, okay? I think it could be fun to do it together. This pan pastels take up so much room. I have been putting paper up between everything because literally nothing works. The fixatives aren't working, guys. So I think I did this with the Sennelier fixative, the one that I said was really good. And look, do I need to do more coats? Do I need to just not worry about it? I don't know, but this didn't work. This is with water. I haven't actually drawn on this yet, but with water it seems to pretty much set it. So I did this one last night. Pan pastels do seem to not rub up as much. They still do if you press, but not as much. This one here I did just really quickly before work one morning, and I think I fixated this. Is it fixative I did, or is it fixed? Or is it, I don't know, with Sennelier again, and I mean, you can tell it hasn't worked. If I go on the orange here, it definitely hasn't worked. I did 2 coats on this, and this is pan pastel again. So pan pastel does come up, but you know, it doesn't. You can kind of leave it like this. I think it's quite nice. This is also pan pastel. Doesn't come up very well. So yeah, I think basically pan pastel is the way to go for non-smudging. I don't know if pastel like this is very good to work in a sketchbook. Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea unless you have a lot of pieces of paper, which basically the sketchbook is going to become twice as big. And it's kind of annoying to work with, like they're always falling out. So I don't know if the pastels themselves are going to be good. Guys, I found more pastels. I didn't even realize I had so many sketchbooks. So this one here I did on ink, and I also fixed it with the Sennelier. And this one actually, it looks pretty good. Like it's coming up a little bit, but maybe it's something to do with the ink underneath. This is the one that we did with the 2 things, so like the gesso, clear gesso, and the acrylic medium. The acrylic medium is really gross. Look, it's leaving all these horrible lines here. I have to work on this. As you can tell, I haven't done anything for a couple of weeks, but I mean, no, you know, this is basically what my mood's been. I think that's all for the pastels in this one. So I really think the best way to use the pastels is going to be on loose paper like this. This is also pastel paper. I really like working in my sketchbook. You guys know I love a good sketchbook. I love filling them up, and I love being able to flip through them afterwards. But maybe for pastels, I just need to say goodbye to the sketchbook for a little bit, which is really sad because I really love using it. So I don't know, but I really like this. I really like this tiger. And that's it. So that's it for the pastels. So like I said, that's it for the pastels for now. I really want to work with them more. So watch this space because part 2 is coming. And if you made it to the end of the video, thanks so much. We did it, guys. Let me know what your favorite experiment was and what I should do with my pan pastels in the next part. That's all for me today. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.